The last stop on our summer road trip is the small mountain town of Broken Ridge, Colorado, where luckily weed is legal because we're going to need it. Because we watched I Know What You Did Last Summer. I'll always know what you did last summer. It's practically the same damn movie. We watched it so you don't have to. So you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad it's scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot needs it. Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horror, so bad it's scary. Enjoy the show.
What's up, Moon Goons? Welcome to the next episode of Horrible Horror, the show where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. With me today is my co-host, as always, Mr. Aaron Southworth.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I just came back from a family pool party. I am full of barbecue and guacamole, so I might be moving a little slow today.
Sounds delicious, though.
It was good.
Barbecue.
It was good.
Sometimes barbecue, you can't beat that.
Yeah, they had the bandanas, like the pulled pork, the pulled chicken. It's good stuff.
Speaking of summertime, this is the last stop on our summer road trip tour. And with this stop, we stop in a little small mountain town of Broken Ridge, Colorado, for a movie called I Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
I always.
Yep.
Always.
I'll
know.
always know.
That's commitment.
Yeah. This movie was released August 22nd, so kind of timely almost, in 2006, straight to DVD.
That's what I was about to ask. Now, there was I Know What You Did Last Summer was a late 90s, early 2000s film. I don't know for sure.
Late 90s, because I remember I went to college my freshman year in 98, and I had the movie poster for that hanging in my room my freshman year. So it had to be at least 98, but it might have been like 96, 97 when it first came out.
The only reason you had that was that because of Jenna Love Hewitt's giant boobies.
Yes, it was.
All right.
I had a major boner crush on Jennifer Love Hewitt.
I kind of remember that now.
Big one. And basically about the movie poster, cause it was like her boob was like right in the bottom right corner of the poster, just a giant Jennifer Love Hewitt tit. And I was like, yeah.
Yes, just for the boobs. I don't care for the movie so much, but the boobs, yes.
Yeah. It's average runtime, hour 30 minutes,
hour
basically.
And a half,
take a little less when you take away all the credits.
Feels like about 3 hours though.
Supposedly this was written by Lewis Duncan, which, if I remember correctly, she's the one who wrote the original book that I Know What You Did Last Summer is based on. So I really don't know if she wrote this movie, because if she did, she got real fucking lazy. Directed by Sylvain White. You can find this almost anywhere. Mm-hmm. It's really, compared to a lot of movies we've done, this one is very easily
iTunes,
findable.
Amazon,
YouTube, iTunes, Vudu, Google Play, all of them have this. There's a few people in the cast I do want to talk about before we get into it. And we'll start off with Brooke Nevin, who plays the main girl, Amber. She's probably pretty recognizable for people. She's got 71 credits, almost all TV work, like pretty much vastly just TV spots. But some big shows she's been a part of, like the Scorpion, which is still running today, so that's probably her most modern work. She was in an episode of The League, which Aaron and I loved.
Oh, I love The League. Yeah, it's a good show.
Particularly the Brolo El Cunado episode.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's one of the best. She was in Till Death, How I Met Your Mother, Supernatural, Smallville, and Charmed, amongst many, many other things.
You were a fan of Charmed.
I was a fan of Charmed. I watched that all the time.
That's okay. I was a Buffy guy.
The guy who plays Colby, David Pay, I can't even pronounce it. Payet Cow. I'm gonna butcher his name. 36 credits. He's in Man of Steel, the new Supernatural, Smallville, Aliens vs Predator, Requiem, Final Destination 2, and Disturbing Behavior for a few more horror thriller movies he's been in.
So he's got a little bit of horror in his background. Okay.
And then Zoe, who's played by Tori DeVito, her father is Billy Joel's drummer, which is a neat little tidbit. She's got 33 credits.
She's the one who plays music, right?
Yep.
Okay, sort of.
Coincidentally enough,
I don't know.
sort of, yeah. She's Pretty Little Liars, Vampire Diaries, and she was in The Right, which stars Anthony Hopkins. So she's got some experience. And the last person I'm going to mention is Michael Flynn, who plays Sheriff Davis. Now, this guy is been around a long time. He's got 99 credits to his name.
Been around a long time.
Including the classic Stripes with Bill Murray.
Bitchin'.
A shit ton of TV movies like Morgan does. And he played Deputy Pierce in Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Oh, nice.
So
We're kind of reprising his role as a police officer in a horror movie.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So with that, let's go right into this. Oh God, it almost pains me to do this. But because this movie does take place in Colorado,
Head for the Rockies.
head for the Rockies. But there it is, drinking my Coors Light today. In
Silver bullet never slows you down, baby.
Never does.
Yeah, we could be drinking something nice like something from New Belgium, which is based out of Colorado as well. Fuck it, we're going nasty. Coors Light, baby.
Well, I don't think Coors Light's that nasty, but we're gonna go nastier beer because this is a pretty nasty fucking movie.
Yeah,
that was
it's
kind of a
not
shitty
good.
segue, but
Hey,
whatever.
fuck it.
This movie doesn't deserve a good segue.
It's hard to play when it's this bad.
Yeah. We open at Broken Ridge, Colorado. Their 4th of July carnival, big ordeal. This is basically, like the salmon festival we had in Humanoids from Deep last week.
Yeah, it's a festival going on. It's 4th of July. Woo! And it's so funny because the
It's
music.
straight up carnival.
Yeah, it's a carnival, and the music does not fit the mood.
Not
it's like,
at all.
It's like kind of slow, dun, 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 and everyone's like, yeah, having fun, playing,
Going on the Ferris
rides.
wheel and like there's whoopity
Yeah,
whoops. Or,
and it's
I don't
it's
know
like
all the
these
right
weird,
names, but-
awkward editing cuts.
Oh,
I
that
mean,
is so fast and
and
hard.
it's kind of like gave you a migraine, and it's like if you were listening to it, you'd be like, okay, a scary kind of situation, something intense, and they're all just having a great time.
Yeah, we meet all the main characters right away, and they're just laughing and giggling and having a good time riding the rides.
Yeah.
Like they're on this one, like I don't know the name of the type of ride there, but one of these spinny swing things. And I swear, like all of them are just looking
swing.
directly
It's
into
the swing.
They're looking directly into the camera. Just
Yeah.
like with these shitty grins on their face, like yeah, what's up?
Yeah, you're
you're in for some shit, but yeah.
you're in for a ride.
So the main girl Amber and her boyfriend are
Colby
Colby.
Jack Cheese.
Yeah, they're talking with the rest of the group of friends, and they bring up the fisherman.
Yeah, so this is the first thing they say.
Yeah, it's the first line of the movie. Have you guys heard about the fisherman?
And everyone's like, whoa. Now, these are teenagers. Some of them have graduated high school, some of them haven't.
Yeah, this is
so
a
these
mixed
are like
group.
17, 18 years old.
We're talking, range from, 17. I would
Youngest 16.
say.
So
The youngest would be 16.
they got
yeah.
17, 18 years old, and it's like all of a sudden they turn in like they're 10.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the fisherman? And they all just stop. What?
And so they say, like, oh, every 4th of July, he comes back for teenagers with dirty little secrets.
This is right off the bat.
This is like
There's-
right off the bat. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
So Colby, he goes on to say that he knows a guy who knows somebody who went to camp with 2 kids that went missing during the camp, and they blame it on the fisherman. Just brilliant, this urban legend
He
bullshit.
puts on his slickers and gets out his fish hook and hunts down teenagers. Blah.
Yeah. So the group runs into this other main character named Lance, who he's working the carnival. He's working one of the games. Like
So he's a carny kid.
he's a carny kid, or at least volunteering. Who knows? He's volunteered maybe.
He seems to be voluntary because they don't seem to be like. These kids look like the Abercrombie and Fitch kind of models.
Very
They're wearing,
much so.
and then the carny kid or the guy who's volunteering, he's wearing like a dirty shirt and his hair's a little greasy and
you can tell
Yeah.
like he comes from like the blue collar family.
the wrong side of the tracks.
He's the kid who actually probably has a job and works. While everybody
Right.
else just lives off the parents' money or something like that.
right.
So he's working one of the carnival games, and you can tell right away there's some tension between Lance and Colby. Like they don't get along.
Because they both fancy what's her tits.
Amber. We find out that this thing that Colby is going away to college in L.A. in the fall, leaving Amber behind for a year. So she's going to be a senior, I guess, until she graduates, and then she's going to join him in L.A. So of course they think that they're going to be the first couple in history to make a long distance college relationship work. And like, we'll make it, we'll be great, blah blah blah.
If they actually did make the long distance relationship work, they might be the first couple in history.
Yeah. Now, up skates PJ on his skateboard.
I feel like there should be a guitar riff.
PJ.
PJ.
And he turns out to be
And
this...
it's so funny. He skates up. He like scratches his tail, and everyone's like, PJ. Everyone loves this guy.
Yeah. He's like the, I guess, like the Fonz.
He's like the Bart Simpson or something. Yeah. He just like comes up and I was like, hey.
He turns out to be the son of the local sheriff, and he's cousins with Lance. And they all pose for some group pictures, blah, blah, blah. Amber's a big photography junkie. And we see Amber taking a picture of the group, and then we see the shadow of a fisherman behind her through like a red piece of red canvas or something like that, red tent. The fisherman rips through the canvas with his hook, and he attacks Amber. The group screams. They run off through the carnival, and the fisherman stalks them through the carnival.
Slices Colby's arm.
Yeah, I think he
slices his arm. So, oh no! And it's just like right off the bat, there's this killer on the loose coming through, and the kids are running through the carnival. There's a killer on the loose.
But yeah, all the hundreds of other people don't seem to give a shit.
Zero fucks.
They don't even notice he screamed. They're just like doing their own thing.
They got to eat that turkey leg and get that cotton candy, some of that funnel cake. Hey kid, I don't care if there's a killer. Don't you knock over my funnel cake?
Yeah, and like even when you see shots like the fisherman stalking through the crowd after his kids with the hook in his hand, everybody else just like whatever. They don't give a shit about this killer fisherman that they plainly walking right through.
Nobody else seems to care except for these kids.
Yeah. And for some reason, PJ decides to run upstairs to the top of some like
parking garage.
It looks like a parking garage. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I thought this was weird. Like it didn't make sense. I mean, the carnival looked like it was in a flat, like in a field, like most carnivals are.
Yeah.
And there's a parking garage that's like 3 stories high.
Yeah, I don't know
maybe
what
4.
this building is.
Yeah.
You can't see if it's a parking garage or not, but it kind of gives you an idea that it is. It's
very peculiarly shot. Yes. And again, this rural environment. Why would they have a 3-4-story parking garage?
It's really
don't know what this building is, but apparently he's on the roof.
Yeah, he's on the roof, and to no surprise, up pops the fisherman right beside PJ, and the rest of the group have gathered below on the ground to watch. And PJ tries to fight off the fisherman with his skateboard, and then he rides it off the roof.
Now this
just pretty much ollies right off the roof.
And this was really bad shot. Like I didn't understand this. It looked like there was a part that was sloping down.
Yes.
And he was going to ride down
the slope part
and make an escape. So he starts to ride down, and then he just decides to ollie off the side.
Yeah. It's like, fuck it, I'm just going to,
and it's a really bad editing because it's like he's turned at a weird angle, and it doesn't look like he's falling. It looks like he's ollieing like sideways.
Yeah.
Like it's really strange. Like they turn his body sideways while he's flying through the air. And I'm like, why did he just commit suicide?
Exactly. That's what it's like, why? Why did you just commit suicide?
Why did you just do that?
Yeah. Everyone screams and rushes over to where he, would have landed. And by the time the cops get there to the roof, the cops are up on the roof, fisherman's gone. So Amber, Zoe, and Kobe, they're in the parking lot when the fisherman steps out from behind the cars and starts disco dancing. The hat is removed to reveal another one of their friends, Roger.
Some kid with a long neck and a skinny head.
Yeah. So all this was a big stupid prank.
Ha ha ha, well, we got him.
Yeah.
Colby reveals that it was fake blood on his arm. He didn't get slashed, and it's all been a big prank.
Yep. And Roger, who played the fisherman, says like, I paid $38 for this hook on eBay, and according to the ad, it's the real hook used by the murders, all the murders from, the first 2 movies, which I call bullshit on, because first of all, if there was no way that hook would ever be released from like a police station or federal evidence room. And if by some magical means it did escape there, I'm sure as hell, as sure as a bear shit in the woods, it would go for way more than $38 fucking.
And it wouldn't be on eBay.
Yeah.
$38.
$38.
That guy is desperate for some meth, whoever's selling that. Jesus.
Most likely. So Roger undresses out of the slicker and gives him the Kobe, who shoves it on a bag so they can hide or get rid of the evidence. And then they realize, okay, hey, where's PJ? Where's PJ? So, and like, I don't know. Let's go find him.
Yeah. Everyone just saw him fly off the roof.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden everyone's like, well, where'd he go? Like, what the fuck?
So they come to this group of onlookers, and the camera pans over to show PJ dead on top of like a old school like John Deere tractor, and he's been impaled through the chest by like the steam chimney or the exhaust chimney.
The exhaust chimney of it. How did this impale him? I mean, it's a flat surface.
Totally flat. Like, I mean, if you fell perfectly flat at the right amount of speed and altitude, I imagine it would go through you, but I thought it's like that. He
Yeah,
might just
that's
bounce off that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, man, there's
Now, if you fell from like an airplane straight down, yeah, but
Right.
like from like one story,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was calling kind of like he'd get fucked up. You know,
Yeah.
I call bullshit on that.
I thought so too. So the cops finally show up, and then other folks from the town just stare on and look in shock and blah blah blah.
Sheriff sees his son impaled on John Deere tractor. Every father's worst nightmare.
So now we cut to the group of friends. They're just walking in the middle of a fucking field, and they're talking.
Yeah.
About, they're just like, we're down the field now,
In the middle of nowhere.
and they're talking about PJ, of course. And they mention that someone moved the mats, so there's supposed to be mats for him to fall on from the jump.
Okay.
And Roger says the mats were PJ's responsibility, which Zoe gets all pissed off. He's like, "What? You can say it's his fault?" I'm like, "Well, honestly, looking back on it, yeah, it kind of is his fault."
Yeah.
like who else? Or
Way to go, PJ.
yeah. And this upset Roger, who yells at Kobe, saying this was your idea all along. They bicker back and forth, blah blah blah. Amber wants to go to the police, but of course the rest of them they aren't having it. They're like, "Fuck no, we'll get in trouble. We can't do that."
Yeah, and this is my favorite part is they go, "We'll never get out of this shit town, this horrible town." I don't know, man. Seems pretty nice. Seems like you're the people who are killing motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You're the reason this place is shit. You need to get that. Fuck you.
So sitting around a small fire, they argue and more. They just keep arguing about what to do, and they're trying to convince each other to keep quiet about it and that this is the best play, you know. And eventually, they all agree. Okay, fine, we'll keep it a secret. We'll keep it a secret. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? At this point, I'm thinking, isn't this supposed to be a sequel? Because so far, it's just a remake of the first movie.
Right.
And I mean, this is exactly the fucking same thing that happened in the first movie.
Except this first one, they killed a vagrant.
Yeah,
At least it was kind of.
they were drunk driving and hit
Yeah.
a guy on the road.
That one makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't be drunk driving. You hit some homeless guy. This is your fucking friend.
Yeah.
Who was also in on the gag.
Yeah.
And it was just an accident.
Exactly.
It's
Because
not.
Mercy's like, you know, that's a pretty fucked up prank.
Yeah.
They might get some community service at
Yeah.
best or parole, but they're not going to get thrown in jail for murder or anything
Right,
like that.
right.
It's like,
I mean,
what the hell?
Everyone saw PJ Ollie his nuts off.
Yeah.
You know, go.
The whole town watched him
Yeah.
jump off this, like, whatever
Right.
building.
So this whole premise of gotta keep it a secret, take it to our graves. It's already kind of like convoluted and fucked up, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If this was written by the woman who wrote the first movie, I'm like, you really fucking calling it, just dial it in there.
Money, please.
Money, please. I'm going to rewrite the exact same thing I already
Right.
did. So, Colby burns the bag with the rain slicker in it after throwing the hook into the nearby lake. And now we fast forward ahead 1 year later to July 1st. And Amber's placing flowers on PJ's grave, which, by the way, this cemetery looks like it's from the 1600s.
It is like the worst kept cemetery ever.
It's so shitty. It's out in the middle of
overgrown.
nowhere. Yeah, exactly. There's like weeds and grass
Everywhere.
everywhere. I mean, I just don't think there's any way that a modern day teenager would be buried there.
In like a civil, like a
It's like some
Civil War.
Confederate- yeah, or something like- I mean,
that's a Confederate field. That's a great.
I mean, seriously, there's like maybe a dozen graves at best in this thing. There's what? So now he just jumps his house party out of someone's farm.
Yeah. All right, just this scene. Just this scene. So it looks like a fucking Coors Light commercial.
It kind of does.
Because they're out in a farm, there's silos, and there's about 50 people there, and they're all young and in Daisy Dukes, and they're all talking, "Hey, what's up, Jimmy?" And this is what kind of pisses me off about these movies is when they show these kids are 18, 19 years old,
Yep.
right? And they're acting way too mature to be having alcohol. Like they're all just kind of like shooting the breeze, talking, sipping on the beer. And because when we were 18, 19 years old, we had beer, we're like, just going insane, doing keg stands, shotgunning
we
beers.
destroyed stuff. We got
just
pretty rowdy.
Going bonkers.
Oh, maybe
Now,
we were just assholes. Maybe just us.
never thought about that. But, yeah.
But I totally know what you mean. It's like they're sipping on like cognac and like brandy.
They're just chill. They're being way too mature for their age and having booze.
Especially when they're out in the middle of fucking nowhere at a farmhouse where there's no risk of like adults interfering or
there's
getting
chips,
busted.
there's barbecue, there's people playing for it. Looks like a fucking beer commercial, and they're
really
all
does.
like 18.
Yeah. That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's one I didn't even think about. That is a great point. So yeah, I mean everybody's dancing, drinking, making out, etc. Now Lance happens to be at this party, and he meets up with Amber and they catch up, they chit chat, small talk, and then Amber spots Colby talking to some other guys at the party, confused, like why is he here?
Colby's here. What's going on?
She walks, she goes up to him to talk to him. Turns out he's not supposed to be here. He's supposed to still be out in California.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells her that his internship didn't work out. And when she accuses him of not telling her that he was in town, he tells her that it's freshman year and we shouldn't be tied down. So, oh geez, big surprise there. You mean to tell me that a freshman guy in college didn't want to be tied down to his high school girlfriend who's still in high school?
Yeah.
Quick, call CNN because that in the paper because that is groundbreaking news.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Didn't see that fucking coming.
So back in her bedroom after the party's over, Amber's like reminiscing over old pictures and finds a note from her parents that reads, "Have fun when we're out of town, no parties." I'm like, well, that's convenient.
Yeah.
So now her parents just
magically gone.
Like, no parental help or supervision at all for the rest of the movie.
We never see her parents, do we?
Nope, you never see them.
Never.
Ever.
We don't see her parents, nobody's parents except for the sheriff who's was the dad of dead PJ.
Yeah, that's the only parent you see in this movie. And honestly, so this is July 1st. This movie takes up through at least July 4th. So they're gone for the whole weekend at least, and who knows how long.
Sure.
Leaving their high school kid alone and unattended.
Over 4th of July weekend?
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Jesus.
That's bad parenting.
Yeah.
So later that night, Amber's woken up from a nightmare and she hears noises coming from downstairs. So she creeps down to check it out. We get a jump scare from an alarm clock going off
For some reason.
for a clock radio for 2:21 in the morning.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I thought the same thing. Who sets an alarm for 2:21 in the morning? And so next her cell phone starts going off. And
now was her cell phone downstairs?
Yes,
already?
which again I call
yes.
bullshit on because there's no way an 18-year-old girl would be that far away from her cell phone.
Never.
Ever. Those things are always within arm's reach at all times for any teenage girl.
Dude, for anyone, really. Jesus.
So, I mean, that thing, her phone would have been up on her nightstand right next to her bed, charging or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyway, she finds 50 text messages on her phone that all read, "I know what you did last summer." Polishing off that turd.
Yeah.
Let's polish that one off.
Try and make it pretty.
So now we go to Amber driving up to this old rundown barn or warehouse or longhouse or whatever the fuck this is.
Longhouse, just where Johnny Eagle lives.
Johnny Eagle's place. It's Johnny Eagle's summer resort in Colorado. No, he winters there.
Yeah, there you
go. He winters there. Where Zoe and her band are practicing.
Oh my God. Ugh, her band. Jesus Christ. Anyway, go on.
I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more about them.
They practice in a barn in the middle of nowhere. Like
it's a barn. It's a weird structure.
Yeah.
So of course, like the Zoe and Amber have drifted apart over the past year for some unknown reason, which makes no sense because it's not like neither one of them went away.
Right.
Like it's not like Colby and Amber who went long distance. Like they're both staying in this
so
town.
this is we'll get to, but yeah. So Zoe. Amber comes to see Zoe. She's like, I got these text messages. Zoe's pissed that she shows up, and she says something to the effect of, I sent you all these flyers to my show, and you never came.
Yeah, like that's a big grievance.
Basically, Amber's a bitch.
Yeah.
And doesn't want to go see Zoe's shitty band.
Yeah. That's pretty much exactly what it is.
So that's why they're not friends anymore. You don't see my band. Well, sorry, your band sucks, Zoe.
I don't know. Zoe's kind of like into alternative metal or new metal, what they want to call it, or
like a
heavier
shittier
stuff,
version of Godsmack,
something like that. And Amber definitely looks like a girl who's like a Taylor Swiftie or something like that.
Yeah. More preppy, and then Zoe's more gothy.
Yeah, Zoe's got the tattoo. Wears the black. She's the punk.
She's like
rebel.
Hot Topic. Amber is Abercrombie and Fitch.
Exactly.
But that looks exactly like they shop.
Yeah.
There's nothing really cutting edge about Zoe, and there's nothing really like particularly. High class about Amber.
Yeah.
It's just they shop at different stores in the mall.
Yeah, that's basically exactly it. So that's what happened. Now we jump ahead to July 2nd. And Zoe and Amber, they made up or something. They enter this factory-looking building where Roger works, repairing ski lifts and gondolas.
Mm-hmm.
So this place is like deserted. Excuse me, that Coors Light is hitting me.
That's
So they start getting freaked out by every random sound they hear throughout this whole building, which echoes.
Yeah.
And Amber's like, I want to leave. Yeah. And on their way out, a man wearing a welder's mask comes flying out at them from behind this plastic sheeting, riding a large metal gondola.
Yeah.
And the man removes the mask, and it's
reveal
Roger.
it's Roger.
It's just Roger. And Roger, just like everybody else, doesn't really want to talk. He's like, fuck you guys. So everybody who's in this town, like, what happened? Like, why are they all hitting each other?
Yeah, I mean, a year's not that long, and you have this horrible secret. You think you'd be a little tighter.
Thank you. I was about to say the same thing. Like, if you have this covering up a murder, well, not a murder, but a death, I would think you want to stay on really good terms with those people who could easily fuck you over.
Right.
So yeah, Roger, and then Amber shows him the text messages, and he starts coming around and be like, oh, okay. He's like, which one of you two opened your mouth? Because it wasn't me, and blah, blah, blah. And for whatever reason, I found this funny. He just ignites his welding torch for like 1 second and then just shuts it off.
Yeah, like he says something. I don't even remember what he says. He just says something to the effect of, I know I didn't say anything. Runs it for a minute, and everyone's like, oh.
He
just turns it off.
He just turns it off. I'm like, what the hell's the point of that? He's like a kid who's showing off his new toy. He's like, look what I got. And just, there's no point of that.
Have you ever played with the welding device?
I have not played with the welding torch.
I haven't either. I do the same thing. I'd be like, woo, all right, yeah, that'd be fun. I do it.
So Roger tells the girls that Colby hasn't talked to him since he left for California. So
Colby's just like, fuck off, Colorado.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get some pussy.
Yeah, and then Roger says, we need to go to the cops. And now Amber this time says no and tells him to keep his mouth shut, and the girls leave. Side note, I want to know why Roger is the only person working in this like giant factory, which is, I mean, it's huge. And there's no way one person would be like allowed to work there alone in a place like this. That's
especially
just a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Who's like 18,
Yes.
19, maybe 19.
Yeah, I'm gonna say at least 18. So, and technically he's legal age, but still for safety reasons, so you're gonna have lawsuits. You're gonna have multiple people there. He's just there working with heavy machinery and welding torches by himself.
Right.
So fucking wrong.
Some labor laws violated there. I think OSHA needs to come by and check it out.
Once again, Amber and Zoe are sitting in they're in Amber's Jeep, and they're just talking, and they're starting to reconnect. You know, they're rekindling their friendship.
What happened to us? We used to be friends and do each other's hair and makeup and share
stupid.
bubblegum and blah, blah, blah.
But they get interrupted by the sheriff, who just says, hey, I just spotted you guys, wanted to say hi. He brings up the 4th of July coming up, and again, nothing fucking happens.
That's my son died.
Son died. So we're at the community pool now, the town pool. Zoe is talking to Colby, who is lifeguarding there.
Colby's got his summer job.
Yep, he's doing the Baywatch thing. And he tells her that he didn't say anything to anyone. They argue, and he continues to be a dicky douche throughout this whole movie.
You know what? I don't mind Colby.
Really?
I really don't. I kind of, hey, you went to L.A., you found out, wow, there's a lot of other girls inside here. You come back, you shit. There's not a lot of people in your town. You got to put up with these motherfuckers again. Just put your head down, get through the summer, go back to L.A.
Well, that's one thing. But I mean, he doesn't have to treat everybody like, talk to everybody like, a fucking asshole. I can understand it's like, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. It's much better out there. I get that. Grass is greener thing, but you don't have to, be a complete douche to everybody.
Eh. I didn't think he was that much of a douche. I mean, yeah, he was a douche. I didn't think he was like a huge douche.
I've seen, he's not the big, he's still an asshole.
Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Anyway, so Zoe leaves, and he goes back to his lifeguard stand, and he sees, I know what you did last summer, written in water.
In water
on the hot concrete.
On the hot concrete, and he's looking at it, and it's evaporating.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what the fuck? So how did someone come with a squirt gun?
Exactly.
And like strategically spray this
without being seen?
Because there's no drips or drops anywhere else.
No.
It's perfectly written on the hot concrete.
It is.
So you'd have to have like a very nice super soaker or something like that.
Yeah.
So you can be like, and write very nicely.
Yeah.
I know what you did last
That's
summer.
another great point. It's like, how did that? Yeah, there's no nothing trails,
no
no
dribbles,
wet footprints, nothing. So
and he looks at it like, what?
Huh?
Shaking his head.
Exactly.
Have I been in the sun too long?
So now we catch up with Amber mountain biking across the hillside. She stops to take pictures, and of the mountains and various landscapes.
She stops, gets off of her bicycle, takes 2 steps away, starts taking pictures of the picturesque mountain scene.
Exactly.
Turns around to reveal that her bicycle tires have been slashed.
Yes.
Slashed, like
Slashed,
gutted.
Yeah.
And she took 2 steps away, turns around, and they're slashed.
Mm-hmm.
No one around. No. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's like, really?
What is going on?
So, and then of course, sounds of thunderstorm are heard rolling in the distance. She carries her bike to the gondola station, and she basically just rides a gondola back down to town, down the hill or mountain. And as she rides the gondola back down to town, it's a fucking drawn out scene because they sit there and focus on her just sitting in this dark gondola for way too long before what happens. And she thinks she sees the fisherman in one of the other gondolas that's coming up at her.
When the lightning flashes, she sees the fisherman.
And then suddenly her gondola comes to a jolting stop, and the arm of the fisherman holding his hook is seen in flashes of lightning as it breaks through the glass. Amber's camera falls to the floor, which causes it to take a picture. The flash goes off, and the fisherman is gone. So, apparently, he doesn't like bright lights.
Yeah, so he's like a gremlin.
Yeah.
or Mogwai or
Mogwai.
something. You know? So, fuck you, fisherman. I got myself a mag light.
Also, by the way, where the fuck is her bike?
That's a good question.
She carries it to the gondola station and just leaves it there. She doesn't put it in the gondola with her. She just left her bike up there. So, she shows Zoe and Colby the pictures that her camera took, and she tries to convince them that this blurry white streak she has in one picture...
Look, that's the hook.
Yeah, is the hook. And Colby's like, fuck you, no it's not. This is stupid. Amber comes to her senses and says, you know what, Roger is right. We need to go to the castle before someone else does. Cut to Roger, alone in his room, drinking, who, by the way, seems to live in the gondola factory.
He lives in like the back part of the gondola factory where he's got like a makeshift bed and table set up.
What?
Yeah. And he's got this dramatic music, and there's a really shitty editing going on.
Oh, it's
like
so bad.
Bunch of overlays of him going like grabbing his head, drinking too much.
Yeah, he's drinking like the hard stuff straight from the
bottle, popping pills,
and he's all while he's reliving the events of PJ's death in his head. Yeah, he's crying. You said popping pills.
He writes a note. It says, "Can't live with the secret anymore."
Well, okay, we didn't find that out till later.
Goodbye. Well, yeah, he's right. Well, no, they show him writing it out.
They show him write a letter, but you don't know what it says till later.
That's what it said. I remember him writing it out. Anyway, but he he pulls out the fish,
the hook.
The hook. He's
the one that got thrown in the lake.
He has reclaimed the hook.
Yeah,
and has taken it out, and he's starting to push on his wrist to slice his wrist
with it. Yeah.
And when he hears a noise.
Yeah, a loud crash noise is heard, which interrupts him, so he gets up to go investigate. Turns out, we already covered that. The fisherman pops up behind him, slashes at Roger with the hook.
He's walking around. Hello.
But
fisherman.
drunk-ass Roger, who's been drunk and taking pills, managed to, with the agility of a cat, dodges out of the way of the fisherman's hook. But eventually he gets pinned on top of this workbench, and the fisherman just slashes Roger across the throat, killing him.
Yeah, and this is a kid who's just seconds away from killing himself.
Yeah.
Suddenly there's someone to kill him, and he's like, I want to live now.
Yeah, he's like, no, exactly. Like, all right,
I gotta run away.
Great.
So, take care of me, please.
And keep in mind, this is about just under the 45-minute mark where we finally have our first fucking kill.
Yes, that's so fucking long.
It's not that it's that long, it's just the pacing is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So Amber, Zoe, and Colby, they arrive at the gondola factory now to find Roger's dead body. They hear a loud thud, run off to hide. They end up in Roger's room where Colby finds the hook in a box. Now, one second here. First of all, how did the hook get back in the box? Because Roger was just holding it in his hand.
About to slit his wrist.
Exactly.
Did he stop, clean it off, put it back in the box, and slide it under his bed?
Yeah, where Colby found it. And on that note, how does Colby know to look immediately under the bed? He comes rushing into this room.
Hey, what's this box?
Running, hiding, and then from some noise they heard, and
First thing he goes for is that fucking box.
Yeah, which again, he's not even sitting out; it's underneath the bed, and it's not like they're looking for weapons because he's carrying a bat with him when he comes in the scene. Oh, so yeah, fucking retarded. I hate this so much.
This is a bad one.
Zoe finds the letter that Roger wrote, which Eric said, "All right, well, I'm sorry, I can't deal with this secret anymore. Goodbye." And it looks like it was written by a 5-year-old at this
Yeah,
point.
it's scrawled, and well, if you're fucked up on pills and booze,
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that's possible. So of course they assume that he killed himself, and now they hear a noise, but this time it's just Deputy Hefner who pops out from behind this large wooden spool. Hefner talks to the three of them as the body is loaded into the ambulance, and he says, "I guess Roger couldn't get over whatever happened last year. If there's anything else you want to add to your statements, anything you think I should know?"
because on this suicide note says he has a horrible secret. Anybody knowing about that? He doesn't even address the fact that he says he has a horrible secret.
Yeah.
He's like, anybody want to tell me anything?
And they're like,
no.
nope. Okay, you get out of here.
Okay,
You're free to go.
Beat it, kids.
Yeah. So all three of them, they head back to
That's some
Amber's house.
crackerjack copping right there.
Once inside, Amber finds a trail of shredded pictures leading from the front door up the stairs to her bedroom. The trail leads her to her corkboard where the word "soon" is written out in torn up pictures.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like, there's a shit ton of torn up pictures, all like way too many.
What, exactly. For the amount of pictures we see her looking at earlier in her bed, when we first see her bedroom and she's looking at these pictures, there's no way those pictures would have supplied enough like confetti or shredded up material for that. There's just way too many.
It's like someone went into a yearbook factory,
Yeah.
sliced up all the pictures in there, and then sprinkled them throughout the house.
Yes.
I was trying to think what kind of place holds a lot of photos, and I just couldn't think of anything. I
Is
came
it
up
Yearbook
with I came up with a
Factory?
yearbook
Yearbook
factory, which is really shitty.
Yeah. Oh.
What place holds a lot of photos?
A Kodiak place? Kodiak?
Kodiak?
I don't think they exist anymore.
Do you mean Kodak?
Oh, Kodak. Yeah, not the bear. Not a giant bear. Kodiak.
Or the Mount Tobacco? Yeah.
Yeah. Photography classroom, photography studio,
Yeah.
art studio, art gallery with photography.
Yeah. I just couldn't.
National Geographic headquarters.
Oh,
There you go.
there you go.
I don't know.
Why didn't I come up with
Yeah,
that?
why not? So, anyway, the night passes, and it's now July 3rd.
Yeah, it's like the countdown. Every time they have like a
which
new
we
scene.
saw. We've seen it. We did this we saw this in another movie. I can't remember which one it was, but I know they did the same thing, like the countdown to the day.
Mhm.
And Zoe, Amber, and Kobe, the three of them, meet up with Lance, who's out on the job, and I guess he works for like the ski resort. And he looks like he's doing repairs or general maintenance on like poles or something like that.
That's the only thing people do here is they work on ski lifts. And
It's like the
gondolas
resort
and-
is like
yeah.
it's like, you know, if there's like a car factory or like like Detroit, everybody worked for Ford, and if the factory closes down, then the town would fall apart.
Well, actually, Mike, a friend of ours, Mike Carpenter, worked at or lived in a small community in Colorado, Winter Park, and yeah, everything revolved around the tourism industry.
So I think that's basically what this town is like. There's this big ski resort there. It's the off season right now, but everybody still people work for him. And again, Kobe and Lance, they butt heads. Lance tells him, "You should worry a little less about me and a little bit more about my uncle." And he tells him that the Sheriff Davis came by yesterday asking them about some secret. you
So
know.
they are doing a little bit of police work.
Yeah, a little bit about the note.
A little bit.
So we cut to the three of them sitting at a local bar or diner or pool hall. It's whatever this building is. And they're talking about the sheriff. And Kobe says he was special forces and he lived for shit like this.
The sheriff?
Yeah,
Special forces?
that's what he said.
Live for shit like this? And then he decides to become sheriff of some, podunk town in Colorado?
Who knows? And Kobe's like, they're thinking this sheriff is the one fucking with them. Like he's the one doing the pictures. He's the one making.
Why
them
would the
stalking them.
sheriff do that?
Well, because his kid was the one who died, and they're thinking, oh, he knows that we were involved. or
He's a
something.
police officer.
Exactly.
You think he would play these little dick games? I think he'd just come and if he was that man, he'd just fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Or
'Cause if
two,
he's special forces, he knows how to get rid of the body.
yeah, he wouldn't be playing these little dick games.
No.
He'd come at you with some pretty full force. And two, even if he did know, he'd still first and foremost, he's a cop. He'd come at you with the law. And
Yeah.
then if he was weird and fucked up, he'd probably go a different route than the spooky way.
Yeah. The spooky.
Because he lives for shit like special
Yes.
forces.
Yeah, apparently. And so Kobe's like, he wants to make a statement to the sheriff that they can't treat him like this, and he can't get away with these actions anymore.
Yikes.
And on that cue, the sheriff enters, has a seat at the bar, and there's this one quick shot of the sheriff like looking over and watching them as they sit there. And so they're starting to set up the sheriff as like, oh, maybe he is the kid. Maybe something's going
But
on.
I mean, even the sheriff, your kid just died, and those are all your kid's friends sitting there. It's the anniversary. Yeah, I'd probably look at him too, like, oh
yeah,
those are my kid's friends.
friends,
Oh,
yeah.
man, I wish I had my kid.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I wish I had my kid
it's
back.
not an unusual thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of a sad thing. Poor sheriff.
Unusual to be. I can't think of a word to make that fit in that
No,
lyric.
it's not unusual to be watched by anyone.
There you go.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
So it cuts away to Amber in her bedroom. She's changing clothes, but don't get excited. There's nothing to see except for a quick shot of her in her bra. And that's very briefly.
There's nothing to look at.
Yeah. Her phone rings. She answers it, and it's Zoe. And she's like, "Hey, I'm almost done packing. I'll be there in 30 minutes." And that's all the scene is. So she's going somewhere. And jumping back to the sheriff, who's walking through the parking lot to his car, and he finds a note under one of his wipers that reads, "We know what you're doing this summer. Now back off before everyone knows." And that's it. I mean, you see Colby hide behind a car watching and read it.
Going.
Yeah.
So Colby's trying to fuck with the cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, which isn't cool.
Yeah. See, he's a douche. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
So we cut back to Zoe's longhouse, and she's asleep on the couch. And we see a dark figure just pass in front of the camera. She wakes up to the sound of like feedback coming through from one of her amps or speakers.
Which got really loud on my TV.
Yeah, it was pretty awful. She turns it off, but when she spins back around, she finds herself saying face to face with the fisherman.
With the fisherman.
Now, this is where the movie starts going to a series of images spliced together, really quick succession.
Big cuts.
Yeah.
Like, it's really choppy,
Yeah,
really bad editing. Like, it's not really scary. It's just like, it's headache inducing.
Yeah, it's migraine inducing. The only thing you really pick out is that you see PJ's face on the fisherman.
So PJ's the fisherman.
Because he was. Oh, no,
Yeah.
that was Roger's dress up. Never mind. But you see PJ as a fisherman, and it's obvious this is just another nightmare. And so, thus, this whole thing is meaningless. And they even pull out the old dream within a dream cliche.
Yeah, because
which-
she wakes up and then he comes again. Ah! And then she wakes up again.
Yeah.
But when she wakes up again, the couch that she fell asleep on is torn to shreds.
Yeah, and one of her guitars has been destroyed.
Yeah, like her guitar strings are all cut, and the bed, the fucking couch is torn to shreds.
Yeah.
Like fucking Freddy Krueger came out, sliced it all to shit,
Yep.
and then took off. It was very Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Very Nightmare on Elm Street, because she's dreaming, she wakes up, everything's destroyed about her. What? Huh? Was it a dream?
Yeah, thanks for bringing up I didn't put the couch in my notes, so I think, yeah, that's
so
glad
stupid.
you brought that up. So Amber
Because that
now-
went nowhere.
Yeah.
That went nowhere.
Absolutely nowhere.
That would be fucking terrifying.
Yeah, but she's like, oh, okay.
Huh.
I'm gonna look at my
strings-
guitar strings.
My guitar strings are cut. That's gonna cost me $8. Shit.
I can get on the couch down at the old junkyard. Where
Yeah, it's true.
So Amber now is startled by Lance as she's getting into her Jeep to leave for Zoe's. Lance accuses her and the rest of her group with fucking with him, and he shows that someone has scratched into the paint on his motorcycle's gas tank.
What does Lance know?
Yeah,
Lance doesn't know shit.
he wasn't involved in the prank at all.
What the fuck's going on with Lance?
Yeah, it's
Poor Lance.
poor Lance.
His cousin dies and he's getting fucked with the next year.
Which is exactly what I said. He doesn't have anything to do with PJ's death. He had nothing to do with it. Amber tells him that he's in trouble and that none of us did this, and blah, 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 blah. And we cut to Colby at the pool going for like a little midnight swim all alone.
With all the lights off.
No,
Except
the lights
for
are on. The
well,
lights are on.
Okay.
But they start to flicker and they start kind of going in and out.
Well, the pool lights, but I'm talking about the lights around him. You know,
No,
there's
because there were overhead lights, like like you would see in like a parking lot that surrounded the pool that were going on and
I
off.
thought it was pretty fucking dark. Anyway.
Oh, it's so dark, but I mean those
really dark.
Yeah. And so right as Kobe does his like little swimmer's flip up against the wall, the fisherman pops up, hooks Kobe like right to the Achilles heel.
Yeah, pretty nasty looking.
Yeah, it is pretty nasty. But for somehow he manages to get away, and
He
the fish
fishes his way out.
and the fisherman just disappears. Now all of them are gathered at Zoe's place.
The next morning.
It's not even morning. It's like the very next scene.
Yeah. So very next scene, Colby has crutches
And a medical
and
boot
a
on.
boot.
Yes, thank you. I had a whole thing about this.
So that means he's gone to the hospital, been treated. They asked about his wound. I was attacked. I'm thinking the way I was attacked. Okay, police get involved. There's an investigation. They would probably keep him overnight to
Yeah.
make sure that, because that went. You don't want to fuck with an Achilles tendon. He'd keep him overnight. Nope. Give me a walking boot, some crutches. I'm good.
Fine. Yeah, because I was gonna say like it certainly doesn't seem like he had time to go to the hospital at all. It's just hook through heel. I'm sitting lounging around on the sofa in Zoe's place. That's the sequence.
Like this.
So it's
Fuck.
yeah. It's what the fuck. Lance tells him that his uncle didn't do this, but there were a lot of pissed off people after last year's prank, so it could be somebody else in the town.
So
And-
they know it was a prank now?
Well, I guess so. Like,
Because they kept talking about how they're looking for a murderer the last year. Did he say prank?
oh no, I don't. He didn't say it. I just said prank. There's a lot of pissed off people after last year. The prank and everything. So
okay.
yeah, that was me.
Sorry.
And of course, more arguing, bickering amongst everybody ensues. That's
Bitching,
like
yeah.
nonstop. It's just when in doubt, let's have them argue and bicker in the script. I mean, let's not write anything solid. Let's just have them argue and bicker.
They did a lot of that.
And eventually, they all decide to go to Deputy Hefner's house. He pops up, invites him around back to where he's having a little gathering, and it turns out there's all the other cops and deputies sitting around drinking and playing poker. But they stop talking once Hefner brings up PJ's death, because it's like the record scratching, like everybody just looks up from their cards and beer. And the sheriff comes out of the house.
Who wants more beers?
Yeah.
Sheriff's ready to party.
Amber starts to talk, like was about to go into it, but she's cut off by Kobe, who's like, "Hey, I have concerns about the carnival tomorrow, and it's the 1 year anniversary, and they're making some bullshit up."
Yeah.
And they leave. So Amber suggested they should all leave town tomorrow. And again, the camera shows the sheriff watching the group as they leave Deputy Hefner's house. And now we cut away to 4th of July. Here we are. 4th of July has finally come. Amber and Lance pull up to Zoe's place while Colby's just outside waiting. Colby spouts out some more dickish lines about how close Lance and Amber have become. He shows them that he has the hook from Roger's place so they can finally get rid of it once and for all. Zoe comes out empty-handed, tells them that she can't go with them now because apparently some big shot record agent's going to be at the carnival to watch her band. And also, on a side note, there's the fact that Zoe's house doesn't have a door. It's just a fucking old sheet covering the doorway. I'm like, that's real fucking safe. Like, why would Zoe or Amber want to sleep there?
Or anyone.
I mean, if I'm being hunted by a killer, the last place I'd want to hide out and sleep in is a place without a fucking door.
Oh, so yeah, I love this. She comes out, she's like, "Guys, I'm not going. There's an LA exec who's coming to this, like, podunk town to watch the local band play."
Yeah.
What?
I don't know that. I'm calling bullshit on this too. Like, what record execs or agents or scouts are gonna go to for locals, like, I don't know, like maybe the Grafton County Fair,
right,
or I don't know, some other small town Missouri's, or fucking whatever. It's
Frogtown, USA.
Yeah, Frogtown.
There's this band out there that I've heard wonderful things about. I gotta go check them out.
Did you know that Hell went to Frogtown?
Hell did go to Frogtown, and he brought Roddy Piper.
I was like, is that where you got that?
No, actually, there is a town in Missouri. I think it's either Missouri or Illinois. I'm not sure. Frogtown, population 250.
Oh, it's a real town, Missouri?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought you were referencing the movie with Roddy Piper.
No, that's a good one, too. So she's going to go, and they're like, "Zoe, no, you got to come with us." She's like, "Don't worry. I'll be surrounded all the time. There's tons of security."
Yeah.
Huh?
There's tons of people. Security's going to be there. It's like, security? Like, who?
Guess who security's going to be? The fucking sheriff.
Yeah.
That's your security.
Yeah, or like
Who you want to get away from.
Or like the fat drunks who are volunteering just because they maybe get some free drink tickets at the end of the day or something.
Right.
Like that. Who fucking knows?
Man, I got some free funnel cake.
Yes, I'm fucking-
I got 3 beer chips. Maybe I can get 4 if you're good. Yeah.
So Amber and Lance hang out at Zoe's while she practices with her band. Colby just leaves, says, I'll meet with them later at the show. But I want to know, first of all, how did he get there and how does he get back? Because there's no car. The only car we see pull up to that place is Zoe's Jeep.
Cheap, yeah.
And he's on crutches. So is he just like hobbling like miles back into town on his crutches?
You're like a mountain wilderness.
No, yeah, it's like, where's he going?
Colby's a man.
Amber hands what looks like a large metal, like a lockable folder to Lance. I mean, this thing looks like the Fort Knox of folders. And he tells him, like, this is where they got the idea for the prank. And he opens it up, and inside are just newspaper clippings all about the events from the first two movies.
From the first 2 movies, yeah.
And she starts rekindling. She starts telling this story, like, you know, say, we all know, whatever. We don't. And again, I was like, why do they need to keep those clippings in like I said, the Fort Knox
a lockbox
file
essentially,
folders?
yeah.
It's crazy. So again, Amber and Lance, they share a little moment after Lance tells that I'm always going to be here for you. I'm not going to let anything happen to you. Blah blah blah. They start kissing, making out a bit. Yeah. And I do want to draw attention to the Swiss cheese roof of this building. And this whole building looks like a good wind would knock it over. Yet the band keeps all of their expensive equipment and instruments there. And Zoe actually lives in this dump. Like,
right.
It's the worst place.
It's like worse, like the barn from The Walking Dead where they kept the zombies as a better building than this place.
I think the little tire fort from Street Trash is a better building than this place.
Yeah. That was a pretty sweet tire fort. That was a pretty sweet tire fort.
So now we jump to the big carnival festival. It's in full swing. Colby's just drunk. He meets up with Lance and Amber,
which I love.
Yeah, he's just hammered.
He's like,
I can't blame him. Like, I might.
Yeah,
do the
he's
same
like, you
thing.
know
Like,
what? Fuck it.
drunk.
If you guys are staying, I might as well stay too. But I'm gonna get drunk and have some fun.
Yeah. So they all head off backstage to watch Zoe perform. And as soon as they get backstage, Colby's like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go get another drink.
Yeah, Colby's like, fuck this.
Like, why do you even go there first? Like, I'll meet you there. I'm going to get a drink. Like, why do you even have that line? It just, I don't know. So finally, Zoe takes the stage to do her set. And there's a really cheesy exchange between Lance and Amber here where Lance says, she's good. And Amber says, no, she's awesome. And like, so after that Oscar-worthy exchange,
the band is playing, the crowd's going crazy.
The camera pans over to show the sheriff standing nearby him again,
just
watching them.
Death staring him.
Yeah.
It's pretty awkward. He's just, just mean mugging.
He is mean mugging. And we go to Colby, who's in a dark, empty bar looking for booze.
He's on his
earpiece
headset. He's talking to somebody. He's like, "Yep, I found it. All right, thanks, man. I owe you."
Yeah.
So he obviously had a buddy who told him, "Hey, man, there's gin in this little bar or something."
Again, like, that's just bad business. Like, if you think there's like your big, massive yearly carnival festival going on, and then you have an empty bar, like, that place should be open, selling booze and beer to everybody in town.
I never thought of that, but you're totally right.
Why would that's just like losing money?
Yeah, there's a whole kitchen. There's a whole business.
It's like at the resort, like, open that shit up, open your restaurant, make some fucking money. And there's like, no, we're just gonna close it all down.
Booyah, Marshall.
Yeah.
Booyah.
So, right back to Zoe. She's alone. Her set's over. She's alone in the green room, seeing from the makeup mirror. Amber and Lance enter, and she tells them that the agent from L.A. asked her for her info. So she's on the fast track now.
She's gonna make it.
And Amber she's like, all right, great, we can leave town now. Let's get out of here. And Zoe's like, chill. Nothing's gonna happen in the next 2 minutes. And like, well, those are famous last words. You might as well just say, I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's like, I just see, like, I'm thinking of the Olympics, like someone setting up for it to be spiked. Zoe's just setting it up. And here comes the spike.
And the spike being that a mannequin falls on top of her, but she's able to move out of the way. And the fisherman, turns out, was behind the mannequin and is just standing there. And the three of them just take off running. Mm-hmm. And they're screaming, and they end up in a locker room.
How big is this fucking place?
I know, this is like fucking huge.
Yeah, so they run in this locker room, a big, big locker room,
yeah.
like several rows of like lockers and places to sit.
Yeah, and of course they run to like the dead end part of it. They run straight to like the corner and they corner themselves
Let's
in.
run all the way to the back, and they go, "Oh shit, we're cornered.
Cornered.
Let's get out of here."
Yeah, so they start zigzagging through the locker room and come out in the dark, empty like lobby of the ski lodge. And somewhere along the way, which again makes no fucking sense because they're all like holding hands initially
Yeah,
running.
they're really tight.
But Zoe she gets separated somehow from the other two, and she's shown in like
Dimension X.
Yeah.
She's just gone.
yeah, exactly
Because they're like,
disappears.
Zoe, where'd you go? They're like, Zoe! They're yelling, and no, you could easily be heard. You should be within earshot.
It's like this brings me back to that scene from very similar to, like, if you remember, like Slaughterhouse Massacre. The group, like they're like hand in hand holding.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all there, and like next second, one guy's off by himself. Like, how did he get separated? He was right there.
Right. And it's like they should be well within earshot.
Oh well,
within
it'd be
earshot.
echoing. I mean, it's so empty and quiet.
Have you seen Stranger Things yet? There's easier communication across dimensions. Okay, I mean it's insane.
So apparently she gets separated, and she it looks like she's in kind of storage room at first because they're just stacks of chairs and just stuff piled over. But it turns out it's like the upstairs part of the lodge or lobby.
Yeah.
And the fisherman bursts through this door, he backs Zoe up against the railing overlooking the lobby below. He grabs her, and with like this underhand swing of the hook, like he just eviscerates Zoe from what I could tell from like vag to chest.
Whoa. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a sweet underhook. I mean, I'm just thinking like if you visualize really, it looks like vag to chest.
Okay.
And Amber and Lance come running in just in time to watch Zoe's body slide off the hook and fall over the railing, land on the lobby floor below.
A really weird slow motion shot
Yeah,
here too, where
it's
you
really
see
slow.
blood coming out of her mouth. It's not a bad shot, but it wasn't great either.
No, they try. It's like something you see like an emotional like war movie, like Saving Private Ryan, like he would like,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh,
And you hear someone, no.
Yeah,
Yeah, and like
and Zoe just like falls into the blackness, and
the
she lands.
abyss,
Yeah. So, Amber screams out. Lance is holding her back, and they rush down the stairs to Zoe's dead body. So there's like a stairway right there. The whole the way it's really senseless.
Building it's really dark, so you really can't tell what the layout really is. But it's a big fucking place.
Yeah. Hearing footsteps, Lance grabs Amber and they hide in the shadows as the sheriff walks out from behind a pillar. Seeing the body, he radios Hefner, telling him that we found a body at the lodge.
We
Call
need
for
help, yeah.
call for backup. And the sheriff hears Amber.
So, yeah, Lance has got Amber like pinned against the wall. They're like they're hiding in the corner. Well, they're not seen.
No.
And everything's quiet. And Amber on just goes. "Bleh."
She might as well. For no reason. It's not like she's like.
Yeah. Just real,
what?
Like they're not out of breath. They're not like. It'd make more sense if she fucking sneezed.
Yeah.
Like she just goes. For no reason.
No reason whatsoever. Just makes
the
this
sheriff
weird noise.
draws his gun. He's like, "Who's there? Get out of here!"
Get out here now. So of course they come out from the shadows. Lance and Amber, they try to explain what happened. But from out of the darkness behind the sheriff comes the fisherman who hooks the sheriff through the shoulder and just pulls him back into the
Drags
shadows.
him into the darkness. So the sheriff is
That's
not
it.
the fisherman.
Yeah, that's all you see.
He's fucking dead.
Because we cut back to the bar where drunk Colby gets a cell phone call from Amber warning him and telling him to get out.
He should have stayed at the fucking bar.
Yeah, honestly, he should have stayed behind the bar.
You know what? If everyone would have been a lot safer if they would have gone drinking with Colby.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Beer saves lives.
Yeah. There you go, kids.
So, and of course, on cue, right on that, the fisherman enters through one of the bar doors. Colby rushes into the kitchen, grabs a large kitchen knife, and hides. Now, like you were saying, if you were just like hidden behind the bar, like just stayed down, like
Cuddled up with a bottle of vodka or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would not have been seen. So yeah, he's hiding in the kitchen, and for also one knows that he's moving really fucking well without those crutches.
Yeah, he dishes crutches, and man, he is fucking I was gonna say Carl Lewis, which is like really dated, but Sure,
Usain Bolt?
Carl Lewis. Usain Bolt, why not? It was the Olympics, he's moving like Usain Bolt.
Carl Lewis was Olympics too, by the way.
I know, but it's really dated was the thing. I'm like, man, I need something more modern. Kevin Johnson? Nah.
That's Michael Johnson.
Oh, Michael Johnson, yeah.
Man with the golden shoes.
That's right, yeah. Usain Bolt, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. The fisherman, of course, finds him, swings the hook at Kobe. Kobe dodges it out of the way and then stabs the fisherman in the back with his knife.
In the back, like up at the top.
Yeah.
Like a good, great place to stab someone and incapacitate him. I mean, it goes pretty deep.
I mean, he gets him good.
He got him grabbed. I was thinking, well, he's fucking fucked.
Yeah.
But nope.
And again, Kobe takes off running. And Amber and Lance, which now, the more I say this out loud, it just sounds like awfully close to saying ambulance. It's just a weird, like, ambulance. So anyway, they enter the bar while Kobe is being chased through the kitchen. So they're like found, they're close on his trail. And Kobe comes to this locked door. And it's got it's one of these it's seen like an industrial kitchen or something like that. One of these two-way doors, steel doors, like windows
with
in
the
it.
window about head level.
Yeah, but they're locked. And suddenly the hook comes crashing through the window of the locked door, hooks Kobe through the face like a fish, and pulls him out through the window to the other side where the fisherman's standing there. And I'm like, oh shit! What?
I kind of liked it.
I liked it too, but
Yeah.
like to get hit by through that window, I was like, yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's a little fishy.
Oh, there we go again.
Hey, full of them.
So ambulance comes across the door and with the broken window, like, oh, and right there it is, and Lance just reaches through, unlocks it from the other side, and where they find Kobe's dead body in a dumpster on like the loading dock or something like that.
Ambulance.
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 It is
Jesus.
like Amber Lance, ambulance.
Ambulance.
Ambulance. So they run outside where they
It's like some ghetto guy would say, I need an ambulance.
Well, what made me think was like I don't know if I would go on tangent, but there's an episode of Tosh.0 where they show
Black Betty.
ambulance.
Yeah.
Black Betty. Ambulance. Yeah, that's what I start thinking of that every time I'm saying Amber Lance. Ambulance.
Oh,
That's
God.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So they run outside where they run into Deputy Hefner, who has a shotgun pointed at them. And Amber's begging for help, and she starts to tell him about what happened last year, all the prank, but Hefner's like, shuts her off. She's like, no. And he said, I know what you did last summer.
Zing.
Zing. Roger told me. I swear to God, does the writer of the script get like a bonus for every time she puts in, I know what you did last
It's
summer?
got to be at least 6 times already.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus.
If you're not counting the text messages.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, 50. Does that count?
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's in the movie. Right. Give me more money. Trademark. Copyright. So Hefner goes on to say that Roger, he told Roger it's too late. Just keep your mouth shut, all right? Just don't worry about it. And he says he kept a secret for Amber. So I guess he's in love with her too. So apparently every guy in this town has like a boner for Amber for some reason. I mean, that's 3 guys in this movie here are all up in her badge, apparently.
Zoe ain't got shit on Amber.
Yeah.
I thought Zoe was a good-looking girl. I mean,
Zoe-
what's so special about Amber?
Yeah,
I mean,
ugh.
they're both kind of plain Jane. There's not much going on with them.
Yeah, you're kind of right.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least Zoe seems to have,
She shops a Hot Topic.
yeah, apparently, she might be on the rise because an agent came and,
Ooh la la.
sorry, but,
Well,
whatever.
too late. She's dead now.
She's dead now. So he also says that he searched her car and found the box with the hook inside of it and orders them to get inside his SUV. So Amber goes to open the back seat, open door, and
who's there?
it's Zoe's dead body.
Oh, Zoe's
no.
like, bitch, you ain't getting my man.
Amber freaks out, accusing Hefner of being the killer, but the fisherman just comes up behind him.
Yeah, Hefner's like, I didn't put it
I
there.
didn't do it.
I didn't do that.
Hefner didn't turn. He turns around in time to shoot the fisherman twice, point blank range with a shotgun.
And
But
I'm like,
this.
what's going on?
It does absolutely nothing to this guy.
There's nothing.
It
Because
doesn't
I'm
faze him
watching
the
this, I'm
slightest.
just like, okay, he already got stabbed once in a very, it could very well could have killed him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a kill kind of stab, like upper back of the neck area, upper back near the spine.
Oh
like,
yeah.
fantastic stab. Okay, maybe he pulled that one. Maybe okay, 2 shots from a shotgun and he keeps on trucking.
And first
Like,
of all,
what the fuck is going on?
it's not even like good. I mean, we've seen like people like Jason and Michael Myers take shots, and at least they like fly backward or at least fall down.
Right.
This guy just shrugs off like he got shot with like a BB, or not even
Right.
a BB. It's just like,
Looks like someone shoved him a little bit.
Yeah,
Just
like
kinda
his
gave him a
shoulders
little
kind of
push.
goes, really? What? So Hafner starts backing up while he's reloading. But the fisherman just closes the gap, and with like this vicious like uppercut swing of the hook, hooks Hafner again, what looks like
Right
in the
nuts,
crotch, right in
yeah.
the crotch, nuts, lifts him off the ground, and then impales him on one of the forks of a forklift. And not only does he impale him on the fork, but he like pushes him nearly to the
pushing him
like,
back to the
nearly
hilt.
nearly
Yeah.
to the back of it. So Amber Lance, they get into the SUV, ram the fisherman, send
Boom.
him flying over the roof of the vehicle, and they crash into a dumpster. Of course, again, the fisherman just gets up, and for the first time, we finally see his face now. And the fisherman looks like a zombie demon thing. And,
So he's supernatural.
and-
Huh?
yeah.
Wait.
So yeah, I lost my shit at this movie at this point.
Yeah.
I lost it. Let me get this one last thing on, then we can go on this rant. So the Amber gets out of the SUV. She starts to start, but of course it doesn't start. And the fisherman puts his rain hat back on. His eyes glow red, and that's where I'm like, what the fuck? Because it's bad enough in my opinion that they've basically just remade the first movie all over again. But now they're making the fisherman, Ben Willis, who was just this normal guy, they turn him into like a zombie, demon, supernatural. Like, I'm just like, fuck you, movie. Fuck you.
They made him a supernatural monster.
Yeah, they turned him into a Jason,
right.
Michael.
Like,
yeah.
whoa, huh? What? Now, I've never seen the first one. I've never seen the second one.
I've seen all of them, but yeah.
Is there any supernatural element to it at all? I didn't think so because
For those of you who can't hear, I should say like no. So the no,
Yeah.
we'll verify. No,
there's no supernatural because I knew that part. I knew it was like, okay, he was hunted down by the guy.
He was
Okay,
just
whatever.
the guy's name was Ben Willis.
Right.
He was just a guy.
And now all of a sudden it's a supernatural zombie.
Yeah.
So now looking back at all the shit that was going on earlier in the movie, the shredded photos, the writing on the pool, the Freddy Krueger scare with Zoe
Yeah.
sleeping in the barn. I mean, I guess if they were trying to lead up to the idea of a supernatural being, they did a shitty job.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck? It's like right at the very end, it's supernatural.
Yep. So much as I don't want to do this, I don't. But back to this fuck fest.
I just want to keep complaining about it.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want.
The
We don't have to.
fuck this. We're still going. You know what? We're gonna talk about something else. No. The fisherman tries to slash at Amber through the car window. She pulls out their hook from the bag, stabs the fisherman in the arm with it, and this causes the fisherman to shriek out in pain, and black blood sprays out. And he then just disappears or like merges into the darkness, vanishing from
He just
sight.
vanishes. And then what
Fuck
comes...
you, movie. Fuck you. Oh, god damn it.
So Amber then goes on to say something. Lance is like, let's fucking book it.
Lance grabs the gun from the SUV. They get out. And this is where it gets even more fucking retarded. So
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Lance is like, let's book. And Amber's like, no, this hook hurt him. It's the original hook that was used. The same one that was bought on eBay for $38. This has an effect on him. I'm going to use it. I'm going to go hunt him down.
Yeah.
With this fucking... for one, who uses a fucking hook? Okay, fuck this hook.
Like, there's more of a chance of, like, if you swing at somebody, there's more of a chance of, like, just bludgeoning them with it than actually actually being able to get that hook into them.
Yeah, it's such a bullshit murder weapon.
Yeah.
And she's like committed to go hunt down this fucking literal monster with a shitty $38 hook.
Yep. And the whole time she's rambling on again about this is the guy from 10 years ago who
Yeah.
killed all those kids, and it's the legend, and blah blah blah. And it's like,
How did she come up with this?
yeah,
How did
she's
yeah.
so
We're really whimpering a lot on
Yeah.
this one.
So now the two of they go after the fisherman now, but the very next scene after her whole rah rah let's kill this guy, we can hurt him. The very next scene is the two of them running like bitches away from him and hiding. Which, if you're running and hiding, why? You just said you wanted him, and he's right there. There he is. Go
Fight
get
him.
him. Stop running away from him. So they end up in this large garage, like filled with this cars and other like various like snow
Like
vehicles,
engines on hook, like, you know, engines hanging from chains
Yeah.
and things. I mean, it's
Speaking of which, that chain thing. Okay, for some unknown reason,
was this-
Amber runs into like how to even describe this, but it's like the first thing that came out is when you go to a drive-through car wash. And there's all like long down, like those long strips of like cloth or whatever, rags, where they're like hanging down. It's like that, only instead of like cloth or whatever, it's fucking chains with hooks and all sorts of other very dangerous, sharp objects
she
attached
just
to
like
them.
runs into him like, ah.
Yeah, like why would that even exist in effect? That is just a safety hazard lawsuit again,
Such a
waiting to happen.
Weird thing to run into.
And
It's just-
it doesn't even come back into play. It's
No.
not like somebody's killed with
They
it, or
just-
they get the fisherman with him. She just runs into him. They
And goes,
show,
"Ow."
Ow! Okay, I guess I don't go there. Let me go around that.
they just show Amber being
That's all that happens.
they just show her being a klutz.
Yes.
She's like, ah, yeah.
Like, what purpose would that serve in real life? Like, it doesn't. Regardless,
This is even worse.
yeah, they attach the hook
To an
what looks-
engine block.
to like an engine hanging from chains, and then use a crank to raise the engine up into a place.
So it looks like the plan is Lance is sitting, kind of hiding.
They're going with a Looney Tunes plan. This is something Wile E. Coyote would use.
Exactly. Amber's the bait. He's like, don't move until I tell you.
Amber's the free pile of birdseed in the middle of the highway.
For the Roadrunner to come. Like, that's beautiful. That's perfect. So she's going to stand there. The fisherman's going to come. Lance will say move. She moves. He is going to hit the switch. The engine block with the hook is going to come swinging down and hit the fisherman. That's
Yep,
the plan.
That's the plan.
So he's hiding, and Amber says, look, he's right there. All of a sudden, all the plans are ruined.
Yeah, all of a sudden, because he's standing on top of one of these like snow vehicles, and then he just teleports down next to Lance, like just blinking out, like blink, blink. Amber releases the crank of the engine,
Which just swings
with
around
the hooks,
randomly.
but it just swings down, but misses the fisherman completely. Lance tries to fight him off, but just gets stabbed and then thrown down like some stairs. Amber grabs the hook off the engine, attacks the fisherman, but her futile, useless attempt, she's tossed aside as well down the stairs. The fisherman kind of chases after them, swinging his hook wildly, but Amber manages to stab him in the foot with her hook, giving them time to get away. They flee the garage, and they end up outside in like this large open space. Like I guess motor pool is like the best thing. It's kind of like the motor pool.
Where they keep, I guess, some of the snow
Yeah, like
vehicles.
this tread. Yeah, and they're not snowmobiles or anything. They're not like this like fancy like the fast snowmobiles you ride. They're like giant fucking things you drive to like the Antarctic on treads and all this stuff.
Right.
Like for any of you old school gamers who played Code Veronica, at the very end when they end up in Antarctica, it's like one of those big ass things. Or you see them in the thing, like the thing.
Yeah.
You drive them in the
yeah,
thing. There we go.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I like your throwback to Code Veronica.
You like that?
Some Resident Evil fans out there.
Yeah.
If you played Code Veronica, it was a weird one.
yeah, that was a weird one, but not bad. Not bad. I hated the fucking side characters, the whiny bitch with the cam.
Steve?
Steve, I hated him. But it was otherwise a good game. So the fisherman just appears again out of nowhere. Just poof, he's there.
It's like,
And-
again, Nightcrawler type powers.
Yeah. And this starts like the sword fight, or I guess hook fight between Lance and the fisherman. But luckily it doesn't last too long. The fisherman just knocks Lance's hook out of his hands, knocks Lance down, and he's about to kill him when Amber, who now has hopped into this large vehicle and she magically seems to know how to operate this thing, turns it on and starts driving. I think like much is going to drive it into the fisherman. But first of all, this vehicle, we have to talk about this because this thing is fucking insane. It's like this combination bulldozer and like crop cutter or harvester.
Thrasher?
Thank you, Thrasher. And because attached to this giant treaded machine is like this massive forked bulldozer shovel, and inside that forked shovel is like this long bar that has spinning blades attached to it, and the ends of this thing like tilt
back
up
and
and
forth.
down,
Yeah,
and
just
they tilt up and down.
moves up and down.
Like, what is this thing?
I know. And also it's like a wood chipper too,
Yeah.
because it shoots crap out the back.
Like, what the fuck is this thing?
So, I don't
and why
know.
does a ski resort have it?
And I don't know if this is for snow removal. I don't know if it's for feet upon feet upon feet of snow, because we don't get that much type of snow here in the Midwest. I mean, we get some pretty good snow, but a good mean snow is 12 inches, and you're still going to use a normal snow plow.
Yeah, we've got.
But that's going to be a good mean snow here. We get a little more, we get a little less, whatever. In Colorado, I understand it can be like 2-3 feet. So
we need to
maybe
ask
you
Mike.
need
We
something.
need to ask Carver. He worked at a ski resort.
Yeah, he might know what the fuck that thing is.
But it looks just ridiculously insane.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like something they made up for this movie.
Yeah.
And in a blink of an eye, the fisherman goes from standing over Lance to ripping the door off the vehicle and throwing Amber out onto the ground.
Like just tearing it off like the Hulk.
Yeah, just gone. He turns his attention to Lance. No. The fisherman grabs Amber by the wrist, starts dragging her away a few feet, but Lance hits the fisherman over the back with like a large pipe or something. He turns his attention towards Lance and backhands him, just backhand swats Lance to the ground. Now Lance finally decides to pull out that gun he took from the SUV.
Which we've already established guns are useless.
Yeah, exactly. If a shotgun didn't do it, then this 9mm isn't gonna do it. He unloads it into the fisherman as
Which
he
just has
approaches.
got no effect on him. He's just
nothing.
walking straight through it.
Yeah, no effect. And again, the fisherman is about to kill Lance when Amber rushes in and stabs the fisherman in the top of the head with her hook. The fisherman's flailing around, black blood splurting out the top of his head like a geyser.
He's screeching.
Like Yosemite Sam or Old Faithful. That's Old Faithful.
Yosemite Sam. Yeah, well.
Yeah, not Yosemite.
Yosemite, not Yosemite Sam.
Old Faithful, India.
He's a rootin' tootin' good farmer.
Yeah, bang, bang. I don't know.
That's the second Looney Tunes reference.
That is twice. Oh, shit. So Amber delivers her final badass line saying, "The secret dies with you." And then she charges the fisherman, knocks him back into like the crazy vehicle of death.
Yeah.
The fisherman tries to hook the ground in an attempt to like stop himself from being pulled into this thing, but the blade's just chopping him up.
Sucks him in and shoots him out the back like a wood chipper.
Exactly, which I actually have in my notes, like a wood chipper.
Yeah.
Good call.
Kind of like the scene from Fargo. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, we fade into Amber and Lance in the back of an ambulance. And
Amber Lance is in an ambulance.
Yeah, Amber Lance is in an ambulance. And they're talking to some random new detective. And she tells him that she couldn't really see the attacker's face, so she can't identify him. But he's not from around here, that's for sure. And he's just some crazy guy who wanted more of what he got last summer, and he won't bother anyone anymore. Which, what does that doesn't even make sense to me.
He got more than he wanted last summer? What was it?
He wanted more of what he got last summer. What did he get last summer?
Well, I guess if she's going with that lie, he killed PJ. I guess if she's trying to ride that lie still.
It doesn't. The fisherman didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It did nothing. It's Lance chimes in saying, "Yeah, it's over, motherfucker. It's never over. You know that it's never over."
Nope.
So
You got sassy there.
I got sassy.
I
went there.
Are you like a middle-aged black woman from the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I went there.
So we cut now to the future. Amber's driving her Jeep through the deserts of Nevada, talking on her phone with Lance. And she's like, "Hey, yeah, I'll be back in LA about 4 hours. I'll see you soon."
So she's doing the long-distance relationship with Lance.
Or
apparently.
something's going on. Which, again, why would they do that? Because if they're both in the same town, why not be driving out there together?
What's keeping Lance in that tiny fucking town? His
Nothing.
his cousin's dead.
His
His uncle's dead. He's in a dead end fucking job
And according to this movie, nobody has parents except for Amber, and Amber's parents don't even care because they went out of town.
So just go with Amber.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're separated. But anyway, they're talking, but of course she blows a tire, and when she gets out to look at, we can clearly tell the tire's been slashed, not blown,
Right.
not just slashed. And at this point, her phone loses connection. with Lance, and she stands there in the road
We get a shitty shot.
looking around like she's looking around the vast, empty desert, deserted roads,
No
nobody
one
around.
around.
The camera starts spinning around her, and then on like the final rotation, we see the fisherman with red glowing eyes standing behind her, blackout, Amber screams,
We hear a zink, like the sharp.
roll credits.
Yeah. That's
It. Now, before we go on to favorite kills, we have to talk about the retardedness of this movie and that they basically turned the fisherman into Candyman. That's basically what he is.
Yeah, that's a very good way of putting it. He kind of is. If you're a teenager and you kill someone and keep it a secret, that's a pretty select group,
Yeah,
by the way.
like, that's exactly what it is. I have like if you kill someone, keep it as that, or even sometimes they say if you just have a secret, he will come and get you and kill you. Like, I don't understand why you went from a real person to this supernatural entity in the first place. It's just fucking retarded.
I was not very happy with that. When I saw him be as a zombie, I was like, or a creature or monster, I was like,
Yeah.
what in the fuckity fuck?
I much rather have had like as much as I gave it shit in like Friday 13th 5 where it was a fake Jason. Spoiler alert. I much rather have had like somebody dressing up as this guy,
Right.
taking revenge, or a copycat killer or something. Anything other than just the fucking. Now he's the boogeyman,
Right.
Who comes and goes as he pleases. He's a cross between like Freddy Krueger and the Candyman, and
Throwing a little pinch of
Bullshit.
Jason.
yeah, it's like,
You
it's fucking awful what they did.
Yeah.
It's God, I hate it so much, and I'm so like revved up about this. I can't even. I know I would have a ton more to say about this and more comprehensive, like in more sense later.
Focus.
But right now,
Focus.
I can't even like get my words out because it's so.
Your eyes are red just like the fisherman's.
Yeah, it's so. It bamboozles me so much
Ooh, bamboozle.
that I can't even get my words out properly to explain how much I don't get.
You were able to get out bamboozle,
Yeah, I was able to get bamboozled,
which is
out.
good.
Okay, deep breath.
Shake it off, shake it
Shake it
off.
off, shake it off, shake it off. Let's move on to favorite kills.
There can be only one. Favorite kill?
All right, there's only 7 kills in this movie that I count, and really 6 because PJ he killed
Suicide.
himself. Like the fisherman had nothing to do
Yeah, he
with
just-
PJ's death.
Just really sucks at ollieing,
I mean, they
guess.
say the mats weren't there, but the fisherman didn't come and move the mats because the fisherman wouldn't have shown up till after you kept the secret of him dying.
Right.
So PJ just was a fucking moron who killed himself.
Moving on.
Moving on, we have basically 6 kills to kill, and actually 5 because you don't even see Ambers because they black out. So we have 5 deaths really to choose from.
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Slim pickings.
You ain't making it down to 4 because the sheriff just gets yanked in the darkness. You don't see how he dies either.
Man, you're making... Dude, honestly, even fucking Colby. He just got drugged through a screen and then they found him dead later.
Yeah. So
So my favorite kill is Deputy What's-His-Nuts. Heffernan?
Hefner.
Hefner. Deputy Hefner. The hook to the nuts and then impaled on the forklift. It was a pretty good effect.
Yeah.
I liked it. That was my favorite.
Honestly, that was good. I was torn between again Colby and Debbie because it is a pretty good effect of him getting hooked to the face and then ripped out that window.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
good looking, but pretty quick. But I agree with you. I gotta go with Deputy Hefner because it's just that impalement,
That push to the hilt,
it was a good effect. Those are probably the 2 only good things about this movie I could really say were good about. Like those 2 death scenes are good. The rest of it pretty much sucked.
Yeah.
All right, so real nice and quick there. Favorite kills this week. So we're gonna move on to like always into odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
Ratings. IMDb gives it a 3.5 out of 10.
That seems like too much.
But in a historic first,
Bum, bum, bum.
we have a movie that scored a perfect 0
Whoa!
on the thermometer
Nice!
with a 21% audience score.
Wow.
And I'm not talking that there was no rating. I mean a 0. And there was like several critics and like lots of it was a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
And Amazon gives it a 2.9 out of 5.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
If you get below on 3 on Amazon, you're hurting.
yeah, you are. Amazon's very gracious.
Yeah.
Plot keywords, there were 88. Most of them were pretty blah.
Hook. Slicker.
What I wrote down,
I know what you did last summer.
garbage dumpster, cleavage, which there's really not much cleavage at all in this
There's
movie.
like none.
There's really
There's
none.
a shot of Amber with her tiny boobs in a bra.
Yeah, and like, that's supposed to be your cleavage. Like, that's
Boo.
But then for the grammar fetish people out there, for some reason, punctuation in title and contraction in title are plot keyword. Who's searching for movies saying, I need contractions in my title? This title better have punctuation in it or I'm not watching it.
It's better not end with a preposition.
Yeah. And then I did put in question mark based on novel, but again, the original movie was based on a novel. I don't think this one was.
Unless the
Now they're
lady
saying
kept-
based on characters, but again, none of the characters from the first two movies are in this.
unless you count
The fisherman,
the
which
fisherman,
is kind of
who's
a
now a zombie.
zombie demon. Fucking, I don't know. Bullshit. Trivia. I got a few things here.
Really?
Not a whole lot, but it was filmed in Park City, Utah. That's all I got from that.
Okay.
This movie was originally announced in 2000, and
Trying
was,
to ride the coattails pretty hard, I guess.
Yeah. and it was originally meant to star Jennifer Love Hewitt, Brandy Norwood, aka Brandy the singer, and Freddie Prinze Jr. again. However, the movie was left alone for so long, and the original script, which involved Jennifer, Brandy, and Freddie, was scrapped, and a whole new script was written. And despite the script being scrapped, there was rumors that Jennifer Love Hewitt had made a cameo appearance in this movie, but of course she never made it. But I think that's a nice way of saying she refused because it was pure shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
I can see that.
Now, this I found interesting. This is from, I forget, God, I wish I had the website I got this from. But I'm actually kind of curious about this because if this is true, I'm actually kind of excited. Sony Pictures is rebooting I Know What You Did Last Summer, the 1997 version that ended up grossing $125 million worldwide. This one, so the remake is going to be written by Oculus co-writer and director Mike Flanagan and partner Jeff Howard, who are adapting the 73 Lewis Duncan book again. So it is the book.
Okay.
It's producing it is Neil Moritz, who did Fast and the Furious, the franchise, and he's also produced the original movie 17 years ago. If the budget is kept tight for the revamp of the popular horror movie about the friends being stalked by the killer, it could well, that's just from there. It could be a very productive venture from the studio. I copy that from Missouri, but that's so apparently they're rebooting this sometime soon.
Why don't you just come up with something new?
Well, again, it's Hollywood, but
so many fucking reboots. Jesus.
Well, yeah, they
Nightmare on Elm
rebooted
Street, Friday the 13th,
which-
Halloween.
I get this, but at the same time, I'm not upset with those because that's kind of like, to me, with those movies being rebooted, it's kind of like, I look at it as like James Bond movies. They've been around for 30 plus years,
Yeah.
40 years. And you get a new Bond, but it's the same character. And horror people like I do. I love Michael Myers. I love Jason. And I hate the fact that, once you watch the original 8, not 10, original 10,
It's a lot of
that's
movies.
a lot of movies, but they were so long ago. It's like, okay, bring back that character. I'd love to still see
to
Jason
see how
stalking.
he handles
Not saying
iPads.
yeah, no, I'm not talking about, but I'd love to see Jason killing, stalking again because Jason's great. Everybody loves Jason. People and they're redoing Halloween again with all of John Carpenter's involved this time.
Mm-hmm.
So they're bringing back beloved horror characters like they keep bringing back James Bond and the Batman movies. How many versions of Batman have we had over the years?
I get what you're saying.
So now I'm not saying this lives up to like the Fisherman equals Jason or Michael or anything like that, but I get it. I get want to bring back a very successful, at least initial horror movie, and give it a newer twist or something. So I'm okay with it. I'll reserve judgment till I see it. It might suck. It might actually be. Who knows? But I'm not as bad as in remaking or continuing horror legacies as much as like them if they're like redoing like other movies. Like if they redid Goonies from my past, I would throw a shit fit over because I love that movie and I don't want to see it touched.
There was even talk about doing another Goonies,
Probably
but with
was.
all the original people.
Yeah, or like a Goonies 2 or something like that. But so that's a little different. But anyway, that's that.
No, I hear you. But at the same time, it just seems. I didn't think that was a big hit. I guess it was a bigger hit.
It was huge because that was like great. That came on the heels of the Scream franchise, which reignited horror. Because the Scream movies really kind of brought horror back because it kind of faded away after the 80s.
It was also Wes Craven.
Well, it was with Scream,
Yeah.
but I'm saying that movie brought horror back in then,
Yeah.
so that came around the heels of the Scream series.
You're right.
And so,
You're right.
Right, it was a big deal.
Final Destination was also with that too.
Plus,
right around
you
the
know,
same
you had
time.
Michelle Gellar, who was doing Buffy at the time,
Yep.
I believe. You know, you had the names
Yep.
coming in. So I get that. So anyway, let's move on to 5-star reviews.
These special movies have a place in these special people's hearts. 5-star reviews.
And holy shit, there were 3 pages of 5-star reviews for this piece of shit.
Ugh.
First one,
Bunch of losers.
first of all, almost I just want to throw this out. Almost every review I went through was a review of the box set, not for just this movie.
Okay.
So I had to skim through all the ones that weren't talking about the first 2 or the whole set as a whole. I had to find ones that were just talking about
I
I
always
always know. So from Matthew Gomez, even though I bought it today, these are very good movies. I bought it, and within 30 minutes, I thought the third one was part 2, but I didn't know that there was. I still know. I know this was the right decision. 5 stars. What? What does that even make? That doesn't even make sense.
Not really.
Like,
No.
what the fuck? Anyway, from Renaissance, a moving suspenseful thriller giving you an emotional roller coaster ride that promised to entertain you with heart-thumping sporadic action. Yeah, sporadic is what you really want. It's sporadic. It sucks most of the time, but occasionally there's something. The characters bring you right into the heart of the movie with professional role-playing. Are they playing Dungeons and Dragons or something like D&D obviously coming up here? That you can expect from only a megastar. Buckle your mental seatbelts because the fear will give you a rodeo ride of your life. A must-see. Get the other 2 DVDs that gave life to this one. Then you understand why everything that follow you is not only your shadow. 5 stars.
Okay, hold on. You're going to go on a rodeo ride and take buckle your belt?
Yeah.
You can't wear a belt buckle when you're rodeo riding.
That defeats the purpose. That's cheating.
That's cheating. Plus, this guy sounds like some asshole from a generic paper. Buckle up for a mind-bending motherfuck. You know, he just
like every cliche you hear in
he's
every trailer.
fucking cliche you could ever fucking think of that he's writing. He's just like looking through scraps of reviews of other movies.
Let me find
and
out
just
some more cliche
picking out the
shit.
buzzwords and putting
Yeah.
it in there. What a dick.
What a dick. From Judith Vada. I'll always know what you did last summer. Everyone says it stinks, but I like it a lot. Great new cast, good story, death scene rock. So apparently there's one death scene rock.
Death Scene Rock.
Can't wait this year, 2008, for a 4th movie is coming out titled Fisherman, and it will be awesome. So I would buy this set and buy the new one that will come out after the 4th one.
Well, thank God
5
that
stars?
fucking didn't happen.
Yeah. But just listen to that saying, I would buy this set and buy the new one that come out after the 4th one.
So there's more
That
coming?
doesn't. That is like a paradox sentence. Like trying to wrap your mind around that makes my brain hurt.
I hope they were high when
Yeah.
they wrote this, or drunk or something.
Yeah,
Maybe
okay.
they were crying themselves, drinking booze out of the bottle and pounding pills.
Dan Core. I want these movies so I could have them and enjoy them. Need to see the 3rd one and am gonna start with that one since I haven't seen the first 2. 5 stars.
Whoa.
Hasn't even seen the movie yet. Gave it
sound-
5 stars.
He talked like caveman.
Yeah, he does talk like caveman. Or
So
at least
he's gonna.
writes like caveman.
He hasn't seen the first 2.
No, he says I have seen the first 2, spelled T-O, by the way.
Oh. I thought the way you read it, it sounded like he didn't
I might
see
have
the first 2.
I'm gonna start this one since I have seen the first
okay.
2.
Okay.
5 stars
Okay.
for a movie he hasn't seen.
I was about to say.
Sammy 1. Forget the big name stars from the first one.
Yeah, those losers.
Yeah, this is the best one of the series. The difference is the writing and the plot twist. Instead of being just another typical slasher movie, this one actually develops characters you can care about, and the situations are creative and fun. The way that the teens deal with each other as they try to keep their secret rounds out the story and keeps you guessing. You've got broken up exes and alcoholic. In short, more realism to go with the surprises. And the hook man is actually more interesting too. I won't give it away, but they even developed that character better too. The best of the 3 for sure, and I'm a fan of the series. 5 stars.
Who wrote that? review?
Sammy 1.
Sammy 1.
Yeah.
Sammy 1.
Now we're closing on the real bread and butter of these things. These are the
Sammy 1. I got a problem with you.
Now, I was so blessed when I found these because
shit.
you know I love the kids reviews.
No shit. Okay.
And I got 2 kids reviews on
All
this
right.
one. This one, the whole review, the review of the title. No, the review titled of this review is "I'm gonna watch it soon." This looks awesome. I think it's the last. JLH was supposed to make a Camaro, but there wasn't enough time, and she and FPR Junior's charters are confirmed dead. But Brandy's still alive. 5 stars.
Oh my god. Kid hasn't even seen it.
Nope.
He's gonna be so disappointed.
Oh, supposed to make a Camaro, but it's spelled Camaro. But there wasn't time, and the characters is spelled Chari.
Characters.
Charittors. Charters? I don't know.
It's closer to chariots.
Yeah. And the next kid review. The first was so cool. The sequel was plain good, but I saw the trailer for this one and it looks very good. Though I don't know. We shall see it with 6 exclamation marks, 5 stars.
I hate these motherfuckers who are giving it 5 stars. They haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah. Last one from Sexy Love.
Ooh.
When I was playing around on my computer, I noticed that they were making another I Know What You Did Last Summer movie. And I can't wait to see what this one's gonna be like. Even though Jennifer Love Hewitt will not be in it, I think it'll be another great horror classic. And not only that, but you have the Fishman back for one last time. 6 exclamation marks. Remember, it comes out on August 1st, so make sure you pick up your copy when it comes out. 6 exclamation marks, 5 stars.
Yeehaw!
Now, just because this movie is fucking shit, and most of these reviews hadn't even seen the movie.
People haven't even seen it.
I did go to 1-star reviews.
Okay.
And there were, again, 3 pages of those as well. First one, this movie conjured up so many adjectives for sucking. I cannot believe that what I was looking at. This has to be one of the absolute worst things I've ever watched. Total waste of $3 at Big Lots. 1 star.
I paid more for that.
Last one. Avoid like the Black Plague. I beg of you, do not watch this movie. That sums it up. 1 star. Okay. Let's wrap this up.
Please.
Final words. Go for it, Aaron.
Good googly moogly, ladies and gentlemen. Do not watch this movie. So bad, it's scary. I mean, shitty characters, people you can't relate to. This weird blend of supernatural when it shouldn't have been. They just basically try to create a new Freddy or Jason.
Yeah, it's like they were trying to redo
Michael
the whole
Myers.
franchise.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, you want to make a spook based off of this? It had nothing to do with the first 2. It sucked. It just sucked. I have nothing good, and I can't even think of anything clever.
Yeah,
I'm just like at the end of my rope with this. I'm like exhausted from this fucking movie.
I get you, man.
Yeah, it was bad.
I'm right there with you, man. It's so bad, it's scary. This movie is fucking awful. And you would think, I mean, it's not. Yeah, it was straight DVD, but I mean, it had production value. I mean, it looked good. I mean, it wasn't like filmed real shit. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it had,
they did get people. I mean, people with acting credentials, like they've experienced, not great stars, but people. But it's just fucking awful.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, first 0% on the thermometer. I didn't think that was even possible.
Yeah, I mean, it had good production value. It had good sound. The soundtrack sucked, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the editing was dog shit, though. Oh, I mean, just like, I mean, not as far as like telling the story. It moved the story pretty well. It kept continuity. You know, I didn't see a lot of continuity errors.
There weren't many continuity errors.
But it was like when you're doing these choppy shots of like, oh, the killer's coming. Is this like more of like, it seemed like, you know, like a college kid's project. You know, it was just bad, poorly done.
Yeah.
I did not like it.
Yeah, this movie drains. Like I'm just with you. Like I've run out of witty things. I don't even know what to say about it to try to be funny. It's just
You feel defeated
yeah.
for watching it.
Really, that's a great word. I feel like I've been knocked out by Tyrone Woodley.
Yeah.
Like just I'm done. Like this movie just took it out of me.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's try to cheer this up. Like, the movie sucked, but
We don't have to watch again.
we don't have to watch it ever again.
Hey!
And neither do you if you listen to this podcast. Neither do you.
Please don't.
So, yeah, with that, we're going to close out for the week. Just remember, as always, check out our Facebook page. Check out our website, horriblehorrorpodcast.com, for news, photos, videos. You can get all the episodes there as well. We're also on Twitter at So Bad It's Scary. And Instagram. Instagram is blowing up. Doing a lot of things with Instagram.
Yep.
You can download and listen to the episodes at Podbean at horriblehorror.podbean.com. And, of course, for free, as always, on iTunes, where you can subscribe and never miss an episode. So I suggest you do that. And in the meantime, we'll watch more horror movies. We'll be back in a week.
Yeah.
So always remember, keep it
Tight.
tight.
Tight?
Tight.
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 Okay.
Not loose. Keep it tight.
Tight.